Safety is one of the top concerns for many families when picking a place to live. Besides the more recent public health concern of coronavirus infection rates, many Americans have usually looked for low crime and other low-risk factors in order to determine whether a new neighborhood is safe for them. While the definition of safety can change depending on personal experiences and preferences, we examined data from 200 of the largest cities across the following 5 metrics: violent crime, property crime, vehicular mortality rate, drug poisoning mortality rate, and the percentage of the population engaging in excessive drinking. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 safest cities in America, and there's some surprises in there, for instance number 2, so make sure you watch till the end. So without further ado, let's cut to the chase. And equal 10th is Naperville, Illinois. Naperville is a northern suburb of Chicago and has the lowest property crime rate in our study, with only 358 incidents for every 100,000 residents in 2021. This city also has the third lowest violent crime rate, with 70 incidents for every 100,000 residents. But it finishes in the bottom half for excessive drinking, with 19.85% of its adult population over-drinking. Also at number 10, San Jose, California. San Jose is located in the heart of Silicon Valley and has the 11th lowest drug poisoning mortality rate, with 8.3 deaths for every 100,000 residents. This city ranks 31st for vehicular mortality rate, 6.4 deaths per 100,000 residents, and excessive drinking. 16.73% of the population is over-drinking. In at 9, Mcallen, Texas. Mcallen, Texas is the only top Texan city in our list that is located outside of Collin County. It has the 6th lowest violent crime rate, with 97 for every 100,000 residents. Mcallen has the lowest drug poisoning mortality rate, with only 3.5 drug deaths for every 100,000 residents. But it ranks in the bottom half of this study for vehicular mortality rate, with 10.6 deaths for every 100,000. Next up at 8, it's Arlington, Virginia. Arlington, Virginia, a suburb of Washington, D.C., has the 2nd lowest vehicular mortality rate of all 200 cities, with just 2.7 deaths for every 100,000 residents. Arlington also has the 11th lowest violent crime rate, with 127 incidents for every 100,000 residents. But it has a much higher excessive drinking rate at 22.23%. At 7, Yonkers, New York. Yonkers, I do love that name, is located directly north of New York City and has the 4th lowest property crime rate in this study, with only 913 for every 100,000 residents. The city has the 5th lowest vehicular mortality rate, with 4.1 deaths for every 100,000 residents. But Yonkers has a higher drug poisoning mortality rate, 15.6 deaths for every 100,000 residents, ranking 94th for this metric. And then at 6, Glendale, California. Glendale, California has the 8th lowest and 29th lowest violent and property crime rate, respectively. FBI data shows that in 2019 there were 114 violent crimes per 100,000 residents and 1,631 property crimes per 100,000 residents in the city. Glendale also ties at 17th for drug poisoning mortality, with 9 deaths for every 100,000 residents. And now the top 5, and in at 5, Plano, Texas. Plano, Texas is also the same county as Frisco and McKinney, and all 3 Texan cities tie for the 33rd lowest vehicular mortality rate, 6.4 deaths for every 100,000 residents. Plano also ranks 18th for its violent crime rate, at 148 for every 100,000 residents, and 31st for property crime rate at 1,683 incidents per 100,000 residents. In at 4, Santa Clarita, California. North of Los Angeles, Santa Clarita has just 944 property crimes for every 100,000 residents, the 5th lowest rate in our study. The violent crime rate is also 12th lowest, with 127 for every 100,000 residents. Santa Clarita ties for the 17th lowest drug poisoning mortality rate, 9 deaths for every 100,000 residents. And now into the top 3, McKinney, Texas. The aforementioned McKinney is in the same county as Frisco and thus has the same county-level data for drug poisoning mortality rate. That's 7.8 deaths for every 100,000 residents, and percentage of adults engaging in excessive drinking, 19.26%. This Texan city, however, has a higher violent crime rate, 143 for every 100,000 residents, than Frisco, but a lower property crime rate, 993 incidents per 100,000 residents. Are you keeping notes? Now in at number 2, the much aforementioned Frisco, Texas. That's right. Frisco, Texas has the 4th lowest violent crime rate of all 200 cities at 80 violent crimes per every 100,000 residents. The Texan city ties for the 5th lowest drug poisoning mortality rate with 7.8 deaths for every 100,000 residents. But oh dear, excessive drinking is more of an issue in Frisco, with 19.26% of the city's adult population over-drinking. How do they actually measure that? And now, drumroll please. Number 1 is Sunnyvale, California. Located in Silicon Valley of all places, Sunnyvale ranks at the top of our study as the safest city in America. This California city has the 11th lowest drug poisoning mortality rate, 8.3 deaths for every 100,000 residents, the 21st lowest violent crime rate, 167 for every 100,000 residents, and ranks 31st for excessive drinking, with only 16.73% of the population over-drinking. Well, I'm off for a beer. There you have the top 10 safest cities in the US. Did you like what you saw? Let us know in the comments down below. Share this video with your safest friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel Trip Xtreme for more fantastic top 10 lists. See you next time, Crime Busters!